Thank you, Ali. Like I said, nobody could give us a better recap of the history than you, being there all 10 years and being a special part of that. As Ali had mentioned, the number of grants that we've given away is quite significant, and to go through all 10 and to recap every one, we'd be here all night. But I thought we would pick a special guest tonight to talk about one of the most recent grants that we've given that kind of culminates what the Education Foundation is about giving a grant to be a catalyst, to be a starter of a program and see them fulfill that program and expand it. And this particular gentleman, Mike Roth, who's joining us tonight, has been a teacher in the district and wrote a grant that he'll tell you about that has not only taken off in our city of Sun Prairie, but has taken off all over the state. Like all of the grants that we'll hear about today in the video that Matt Silvernagel has put together for us later, it started from the imagination of one teacher and was given a little help from the foundation, like I said, and grew into an amazing project. If you could please put your hands together to help me recognize Mike Roth today and his Freedom Pen project.
With this, being a teacher and particularly a tech ed teacher and a shop teacher, microphones scare me. I'm just used to talking loud. So this whole thing started actually with myself and Ken Bremer, who Dr. Culver and the administration at Cardinal Heights stuck their neck out hiring 2 teachers for 1 position in the first place. And Ken and I joke that individually we're bright, together we're brilliant, and we came up with this idea of giving purpose to some of the skills and the knowledges that kids were learning in class and having them make pens for veterans. And we said, well, let's apply for a grant. And so we did. And we corrected each other's spelling and reworded things a little bit, and I think the grant sounded pretty good, and it was accepted. And when we were presented with the big check, I have to give a shout out to Nancy Everson, because she raised the question, you know, what about the honor flight veterans? And lights went on, and buzzers and bells and everything, and that really allowed us to focus who we were presenting these pens to. And the whole thing has grown. It continues to grow. So my point to the foundation and where the money that you're planting seeds with can go is the following story. Last year we presented 90 pens, which are enough to give a pen to every veteran who goes on the honor flight to Washington, D.C. And they give these pens to them along with another, a lot of other gifts, etc., from people. And each student volunteers to make a Freedom Pen. Another shout out, thanks to Stephanie for helping me give purpose to the community service that kids receive for making these pens. And now that's in writing also. So again, the program continues to grow. But each student makes a pen voluntarily, and then they print their name so it can be read, and sign their name on this card, and the card is attached to the pen in a little felt sleeve, and it's given to the veterans on one honor flight. And the card says, Thank you for your service to our country and for the sacrifices you have made in this service. This pen is a modest gesture to show my appreciation for all that you have done in helping right the freedoms we have the privilege of experiencing in our everyday lives. It is an honor to present you with this handmade pen. So each 9th grade student who makes one of these signs this card. Now, it's about this time of year where thank you cards start showing up in penmanship that is perhaps 3-4 generations past in style and legibility, But these kids get personal notes and personal thank you notes from these vets. And of course, I pass on those notes to those students. The whole thing has grown. We did 90 pens again this year, and the gentleman who is my liaison at Badger Honor Flight invited me to come to the VFW Hall on Lakeside Street and present the 90 pens to 75 to 100 people that were there for an honor flight meeting. And these people organized the honor flight and talked business about it and all of that. So I was able to present those 90 pens to that group. And when I got done talking, they shot to their feet and gave me a standing ovation. And I reminded them at the time, as I shared the story with my students the next day, it wasn't I who got the standing ovation. It was the students who made these pens. And, you know, it was we, as teachers, we grabbed onto teachable moments, and I was able to explain to them it's not necessarily what you do for a living, but what you're being while you're doing what it is you're doing. And so it was a great teachable moment to the kids. We already have honor flight pens being made this late in the year for next year's honor flight. Now this whole thing continues to grow because particularly in this area, there are several schools that are taking up this cause, and we are making honor flight pens for more than one honor flight. The point I'd like to make here is that through this grant that the foundation provided, this thing is growing, and it continues to grow and will continue to grow for a long, long time. I thank you for your support. The kids thank you for your support. The community thanks you for your support. It's these kinds of grants that are planted as seeds that cause things like this to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and this is getting bigger. I'd like to take just a moment, if I could, to present this honor flight pen to a man that I hold in very high regard and deserves this honor. Dr. Tim Culver, would you please come down and get this pen? Now I'm going a little bit off of the agenda, and I'm sorry for that, Rebecca and Nancy, but I'm going to tell a story. I'm a teacher who retired once upon a time, and I don't know when I'm going to retire again because I'm having too darn much fun in your school district.
You're not going to retire again.
I don't think I am, but neither are you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Before you go, so, you know, after 31, 32 years in education and you retire and you come back and you hear, oh, gee, there's going to be another start of the school year, all staff in service. Oh, good. Well, 5 years ago, I showed up I showed up in this room, and I was inspired by this man standing next to me, and I have been inspired by this man standing next to me throughout each of those 5 years, but particularly at the start of the year when we're bemoaning our summers ending and starting a new school year. Year end services every year were truly, truly inspiring, and you've created a climate in this district through the help of the school board and the community and this foundation, but you've created a climate where it makes teaching truly the enjoyable experience that it should be. And so it is. So one of the in-services, Dr. Culver talked about, and if you could just explain this a little better than I can. He talked about this box he had and how he put things in this box, and it started out, I believe it started out with a penny, and it grew and it grew and it grew. I would love to, this is tech ed gift wrapping right here. This is what kids take these boxes home to their parents in. But I would like to present you, that's what you saw in my class. Dr. Culver comes into our classes, and he just it's a real feeling of comfort that we're there, or that he's there. Now, you got to see what's inside it, because that has a little to do with your story of one of our in-services. Yeah. That's a personal thank you for all that you've done for my career and helping me enjoy working here more than any place I've ever worked. Thank you.
I'll do it during my
All
part.
right, yeah, please, thank
I'm
you.
gonna leave it here so I remember to do that.
Sorry for taking so long.
Mike, I'm gonna have to dock your pay for going off the agenda, off the schedule.